Now, also, during the trial, was there any evidence presented other than the identification in the photo lineup? Like, did they have fingerprints, for example?
No.
Did they have any other physical evidence other than fingerprints, like hair sample?
No.
Okay, so the only thing they were going on was the photo lineup identification.
And that's funny too, because during that time when I was doing the polygraphs and everything, when I was in jail, when I was transferred from Irving to Dallas, they pulled me out 3 different times. The first time was they wanted a hair sample. I consented, I give them a hair sample. Second time they wanted a blood test. And the third time I believe they wanted saliva. So I consented to all these tests. And come time for trial, I never did hear nothing about none of them tests, you know. And then I think later on they was giving me the run around when I was trying, because when I was doing my appeals, I was doing it myself, so I had to get all the records and everything. And they was giving me a runaround about losing the, you know, certain tests, you know, like the hair samples and the blood test, you know, all that there.
They said they lost those tests?
Couldn't find them or whatever.
They went missing?
Yes.
Okay. Never gave you an explanation as to how they went missing?
No.
Okay. Now let me ask you this, the second trial, it was reversed. So you had a third trial, right?
Right.
Now through the first 2 trials, you were being offered deals by the prosecutor, correct?
The very first trial.
To plea out, yeah. Did you ever take any of those?
No.
Never considered them?
No.
Why?
I mean, it's because I was innocent. You know?
All right. So in the third trial, how did that go?
Not too good. I got my case reversed. I come back to Dallas County. I elected to represent myself and I requested that an inmate be allowed to assist me, aid me, and advise me with my defense of self-representation. And the court denied that. And when they denied that, you know, we had a little meeting in the hallway and everything, you know, and I was told not to sign anything or do anything that, you know, would jeopardize me fighting my case. And that's what I did. And throughout the trial, from day one, even when they asked me, you know, does Donald Wayne Good versus State of Texas versus Donald Wayne Good, you named Donald Wayne Good. And I stated, Your Honor, if it pleases the court, let the record reflect that I hereby respectfully request the presence of my advisor advocate, Daniel Clark, to assist me and aid me and advise me with my defense of self-representation. The court denied it. And I just repeated that same phrase, just a little bit louder than what the prosecutor was doing, because he was talking, and I ended up interrupting the proceedings. It wasn't going as planned, and the judge ordered me gagged and handcuffed. Well, he ordered me gagged first, and they brought the jury back in, set them down. I just reached up there and pulled the gag down, stood up and repeated the same phrase over and over. And they run the jury out of there and decided what they was going to do. You know, they ordered that the court-appointed attorney to sit there beside me in case I, you know, changed my mind and wanted to let him go ahead and pick up where I left off. Was going to leave off, and I refused to get in any court-appointed help because it didn't work out before. And I was frustrated and I just, you know, I felt like, you know, I needed to do what I needed to do, and I did that. So they had the little recess and they come back and they ordered me handcuffed behind my back and gagged and handcuffed behind my back this time. So I you know, if I needed a drink of water or something, I could tap my feet or something. You know, if I wanted to make the objection or something, I would tap my feet. Or when it come to my turn to speak, I would stand up. The bailiff was ordered to remove the gag, and when the bailiff removed the gag, I repeated the same phrase over and over and over, you know, until they re-gagged me. And that's how the trial went, and that's how the trial ended.
So through the entire third
Three.
trial, you were gagged and
For 3
handcuffed?
days.
For 3 days, in front of the jury. Now,
I remember it was a big white, when you seen them news sheets, they're real stiff, and that's what they used when they gagged me.
When they gagged you in court? What year was the third trial, 87 or?
87.
87. Now, just to put it in perspective, you were arrested for this alleged rape in 1983.
83.
So this whole time you've been in jail?
Right.
Correct. Okay.
Now,
So, and yeah, you were arrested in 1983, you were in jail, you had your first trial, then your second trial. By the time you got to your third trial, it was 1987.
I was still in jail.
So you're still in jail. So by that time, how was your frustration level?
I was, I couldn't believe it. I didn't know what to do. Just continue to fight, and my family was behind me. I had to get certain law books that I needed. They was real helpful with that, getting what I needed, and just fighting it, appealing it, and
You weren't able to put up much of a defense at your third trial.
not at all. Wasn't no defense.
Yeah, you just gagged and handcuffed. Okay.
And the jury, the jury, it seemed like they didn't even want to convict me. They come back with a note asking the judge, what precluded us from, or precluded them from having someone speak on my behalf. And, that was, I had acted to represent myself, and I'm doing this to myself, that kind of thing.
Now I just want to fast forward real quick. Eventually, in 2004, you were exonerated by DNA evidence, right?
Yes.
Now we'll go back. So I just want to make sure that's out there. So DNA evidence,
April 7, 2004.
and you were finally, at least, you were vindicated. How did that make you feel when you finally were able to have evidence in your hand showing DNA evidence that's 99.99999% accurate, saying you were not the rapist?
Oh, you can imagine, what if they'd lost that evidence, I'd still be in prison doing a life sentence.
Now, what effects did this have on your life and your family, the conviction and the incarceration?
It was hard on all of us. The family, the type of crime it was, being a sex offender and not being able to be around kids. I was told, if my wife got pregnant, that I would have to move out of the house. That was part of their laws.
Now, you spent how many years in prison for this crime?
13 years, 7 months, 5 days.
And you're talking about when you were registered sex offender, is that when you were paroled?
In 93, yes.
93. And being on parole, how was that? What did you have to do?
Well, it was zero tolerance. It was the highest supervision. You had to report twice a month. You had to go to therapy sessions. You had to pay for that.
What did you do at the therapy sessions?
Everyone would talk about their crime, state what they're in there for, how it happened. They would role play. You would be a victim one time. Next time you'd be the, perpetrator. Just all different kind of cases. Just having to listen to some of the really sick things that was people have done. Against women, children. Just being in that environment, it wasn't very pleasing.
Did you have to reenact the alleged rape?
Oh yes, I had everyone reenacted their own crime, and of course, if you tried to deny it, they would be ready to. Okay, well, I know someone, we can set you up for a polygraph. Blah blah blah. And that's more money. You had to pay like $250 each time for this. They got different types of polygraphs. They got maintenance. They got the platysma graft, they got all kinds of, you know, it just seemed like it was eating me up.